Good evening, everyone. So good to be here. How are we? We good? Good. Cool. I'm going to sing a song. My friend missed out on this one last set, so I'm going to sing it again. This is a song that I was inspired by my grandmother, my nana, and she just lived her life fearlessly. And it's something that I aspire to because I get freaked out a bit. And yeah, so this one's for her. It's called If I Should. If I should die tomorrow, let them say I really lived today. Let them say I lived loud and I laughed long, never let fear get in my way. If I should die tomorrow, let them say I really lived today. There comes a time for leaving, there comes a time for change, because nothing in this world was ever gonna stay the same. And I think about you laughing in that certain way. There's a place good memories will always stay. And if I should die tomorrow, let them say I really lived today. Let them say I lived loud and I laughed long, never let fear get in my way. If I should die tomorrow, let them say I really lived today. I will hear your laughter down through the years, and I promise you that I will cry whenever I have tears. And I've been thinking about laughter because it comes and then it's gone. It wouldn't really be a laugh if it just went on and on. And if I should die tomorrow, let them say I really lived today. Let them say I lived loud and I laughed long, never let fear get in my way. If I should die tomorrow, let them say I really lived today. Thank you so much. This next song is called Diesel. This is this is my most fun song to sing that I have written. And I thought I'd tell you a little bit of a story about it. I know some of you were here for both shows today, so I'll give you the story behind this one. So I lived in Canada for 4 years, and I obviously wasn't allowed to work over there. The only thing, they have this awesome law in Canada where artists, well, at least they did when I lived there, artists could play concerts. So you could do ticketed shows without a visa, but you couldn't play in pubs. And I mean, I grew up playing in pubs. I was quite happy not to play for drunk people anymore. Let that be for the Canadians. And yeah, so I was able to do tours, but obviously you can't tour all the time. So I maxed out my credit card, and by the time I got back to Australia, I had like no money and just some credit card debt, and it wasn't very cool. And so I went shopping, and I found this skirt, and as you do when you've maxed out your credit card, yeah. And I found this skirt, and it was $160. I could have just fitted it on my credit card, and I just thought, that's not the right thing to do, Jodi. You need to pay that sucker off. And so with great difficulty, I walked out of the shop and I left the skirt behind. And right next door to that shop was St. Vincent de Paul. And I went into the op shop and I found this awesome skirt. It's on my Salisbury Hill video on YouTube, if you've seen that. It was black denim with frayed edges. It was so funky. It was actually Diesel, the brand, and it was $8. So I bought that skirt, and I just thought, and because at the same time I was thinking, how am I going to keep my music career going because I'm broke. But I knew I knew this was my life's work. I knew this is what I wanted to do. And so when I bought that skirt, it was a symbol, you know, there's always a way, you just have to find it. And I had an even better skirt for $152 less, paid for it with cash. So I got in my van that night, drove to Melbourne for a gig in Melbourne from Sydney, and I actually wrote this song on the Hume Highway. Diesel. So I'd like to dedicate this to you and finding the time in your life to doing what you love. For me, that's writing songs and singing them for you, but you know what your thing is, and it's just what makes life worth living. So I hope you can do it. If you're not doing it already, find a way to start. Make your heart your home. Well, I bought this skirt at St. Vincent de Paul, and it's a size too small, but I love this skirt. Well, I bought this skirt, it's the only one they had, and I could pay for it with cash, though it's diesel. When I go out, I'm on show in these clothes I wear. They weren't always my own. Call me a hobo. Ship, and the engine always makes me think of all those trips that I took with my dad. So high in the cab, listening to Slim Dusty and Johnny Cash. And now my exhaust smells like fish and chips, but it's kind of sad 'cause I miss the smell of diesel. When I go out, I'm on show in these clothes I wear. Weren't always my own. Call me a hobo, I'm still gonna roam. I'm gonna make my heart my home. Yeah! I always feel like Jessie off Toy Story when I do that. So much fun. I'm not nearly a star, but I've met Jimmy Barnes at his daughter's 21st by the Fairy Bread. The only reason I was there was the keyboardist we share, and I didn't know what to say. Was only one thing in my head, so I just said, don't you love Fairy Bread? It's not a real party without it. I think that's what he said, and as I ran away to the dark side of his place, playing in the corner was Diesel. When I go out, I'm on show, and these clothes I wear weren't always my own. Call me a hobo, I'm still gonna roam. I'm gonna make my heart my home. I'm gonna make my heart my home. To making your heart your home, everyone. So, you know, there's one thing. It was a hard lesson for me to learn. But I realised there's one thing that's guaranteed to stay the same in life. And that is that things change. So I wrote a song called Things Are Gonna Change. But since I've come to terms with this, I've become a whole lot more mellow. Because it's just part of life. Things are gonna change. That's all I know for or drown it out. I'm gonna turn around and feel what I feel, be strong enough to talk it out, to face myself and feel what I feel inside. Things are gonna change, change, change. Moving like a river, things are gonna change, change, change. That's one thing that stays the same. I wanna flow with the river, through happiness and hard times. And even if I think it's hit me like a landslide, when the school of hard knocks nearly knocked me out, it might have knocked me over, but I'm not down for the count. Like the phoenix rising, a chance to really grow. It's easy to get stronger when there's nowhere else to go. Yeah, things are gonna change, change, change. Moving like a river, things are gonna change, change, change. That's one thing that stays the same. I'm no superhero or dressed up in steel. If I fail to be perfect, I know I'm human and I'm real. I'll be kind to myself, let myself heal. Things are gonna change, change, change. Moving like a river, things are gonna change, change, change. That's one thing that stays the same. Things are gonna change, change, change. Moving like a river, things are gonna change, change, change. Thank you. So I'd like to just acknowledge Eric on the sound tonight, because if you hear those little magic pieces in there, that's Eric. And let's give him a hand. He's a hard worker, does a beautiful job. And I'd also like to say hello to everyone watching the live stream, because we're live streaming this show. So got David and Karen and Gerhild and lots of people tuning in, Mark and Jay, Adrian. So hi to everyone. Let's say hi to them. Hi! And this is this. I actually put it out on Facebook and Instagram to see what songs everyone wanted me to play. So this one came up a few times, and I'm so happy because this is basically all my favourite things wrapped up into one song, and I was so happy people requested it. This is Salt Water in My Hair. I'd just like to say also, I love starting songs and then stopping and just... If you've ever been to one of my shows, that's like par for the course. But yeah, a lot of people just take this as just a happy, happy beach song. But for me, it's like got a deeper level to it as well, because salt water is so healing. Whether you're going to the beach or whether you're crying saltwater tears through whatever pain life might throw at you, like it's just so healing. And yeah, it wasn't until I had a huge loss in my life and I was sleep deprived. I couldn't sleep from the shock and the trauma of it. And my sister, I think it was 7 days later, and I hadn't slept barely for the whole week. And my sister said, I think we need to go for a surf. And we went for a surf, and I paddled out the back, and I cried, just all by myself. I sort of cried to, to whoever up there, and went home, slept like a baby that night, and I was fixed. And I always thought the sea is healing, but I didn't know how much it was. So, yeah. So I'm going to sing this happy little beach song and just keep that in mind. Salt water in my hair, got sand between my toes. Salt tingle in my tongue, got freckles on my nose. Guitars flicker by the fire, wood smoke all through my clothes. Good company and songs everybody knows, and all my troubles, all my fears, wash right out to the ocean, leaving me being free, feeling my heart open. No matter what life might deal me, I'm okay if I've got sun showers on the sand, green ocean in my soul. Riding that final wave back in, eating watermelon whole. Sleeping underneath the stars while you keep me from the cold. The still water of the dawn, turning everything to gold. And all my troubles, all my fears, wash right out to the ocean, leaving me being free, feeling my heart open. No matter what life might deal me, I'm okay if I've got salt water in my hair, sand between my toes, salt tingle in my tongue, got freckles on my nose. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can't tell you how much I love the ocean. And we need to look after it. So we did some shows in Germany and France and a couple of shows in London. And I was with my sister and she was sick of London after about 6 hours. So we hatched this plan, why don't we go up to Scotland? And it's funny, I've got quite a lot of Scottish heritage in my family tree. And so, yeah, it was 14 hours on the bus. You know, for a couple of girls from Sejuna, that's just going to Adelaide, you know. And so we jumped on and we headed up there. It was weird when I saw those hills. I felt like I'd seen them before. And I'm obviously from Sejuna, where it's all flat and brown. And these were like green. And you know what? There was actually water just kind of oozing out of these hills. I mean, it was like so wet. And I just thought, wow, as a girl from Sejuna would think, you know, wow, I wonder what the rainfall is here. You know, perfectly legitimate question, don't you think? So I asked this random guy on the street in Aberdeen, excuse me, what is the rainfall for Aberdeen? This guy looked at me like I was from Mars. You know, the rainfall? What do you mean, what's the rainfall? I said, you know, what's your average annual rainfall for this place? You know? Like, and he still looked completely lost. I said, like, I'm from Australia, and in my town, we have an average of 12 inches per year. Now, I know it's an old system, but I could say that since I was 2. I knew that. And they were very precious 12 inches. And he said, it rains every day in Scotland. You think we're going to measure it? So I was 26 years old and I thought everyone had a rain gauge on their back fence. No. So when I got home to Australia, I decided to write a song about what it is to be Australian, because we're a mixed bag, you know. There's a lot of history here before invasion, and I thought, it was only when I was on the other side of the world that I realised there is something about us that is unique. And I tried to capture it in this song. It's called Bar in Paris, of course. Very Australian name. There's a bar in Paris, it's got gum trees on the wall. And you'll be drinking Aussie beer if you're drinking beer at all. And the strange accent of my homeland that I know so well had me spinning out just down the road from Le Tour Eiffel. And there's some stones in Scotland where my ancestors lie. I stretched out on the moss there, I might have even cried. And the man at the rental car place said, "You're Australian, you're not from here." But the stones are there, just down the road from Culloden Battlefield. And there's a street in Sydney, it's got campfires burning still in the heart of the city, despite the council's will. And the cops are always coming round to exercise their power. But I heard some really old stories just down the road from Centrepoint Tower. There's a restaurant in Sydney, it's got fine Chinese cuisine. And everyone from the Greek cafe sat with the Chinese family. And the food was good and everyone had something to say. And we ate noodles just down the road from Botany Bay. Well, there's nothing simple about what it means to be from my country. There's nothing easy or comfortable about our history. And I'm a complicated girl, I hardly understand myself. But I knew I was Australian on the other side of the world. Thank you. It actually took me 10 years before I recorded that song. It just never seemed to fit on any of my albums. And then, and it was actually my mum and dad's favourite song of mine. And it still gives me goosebumps, that one. Finally recorded it on Saltwater, my latest album.
Which is a great album.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you know what? My late brother actually was my greatest song critic. And he was never happy with any of my records. And they're good records, if I do say so myself. But he was like, nah, you can do better than that, Jodes. You can do better than that. And when I wrote the songs for Saltwater, he said, "You've done it. You've nailed it. That is a great album." And I tell you what, you know, like you've got your song critics from The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald and Rhythms Magazine and all that. But I just never put any weight as much as I put on my brother's opinion, you know, and I just thought if he's happy with it, I was so stoked. I'm getting teary just thinking about it. So, woo, yeah, I was very proud. I'm very proud of that record. And this is a little present I got at the end of my last show from Neil. And I said at the end of last year, I'm going to be writing heaps of songs this year. And I am. I have totally got rid of my writer's block. I had writer's block for like 10 years. And I was still writing songs. Is anyone a writer? Have we got any creatives here? Yeah. So it's like, it's not that I wasn't writing. I always thought writer's block was when you don't write at all. But I was writing. But I was like hating on everything I wrote. You know, I would just like bludgeon these little ideas to death before they even had a chance to blossom, you know. And so now I've figured out a way to actually let them breathe. And this little book is blank at the moment, and it's going to be full by the end of maybe not by the end of the year. By the end of 5 years, it's going to be full. It's like a lot of pages. So if you're on Instagram or Facebook, you have to follow me because I'm going to be posting them as they come out. Jodi Martin Music, everything with an I. Jodi Martin Music on Facebook and Insta. I'd love to see you there. I'm going to be populating that place this year. It's not my natural habitat, but I'm going to make it so. All right. So I'm going to sing a song called "Did Mother Nature Become a Criminal?" This is actually inspired by, I was very, very blessed to be able to write some songs with Arlo Guthrie a few years ago for the Saltwater album. And Arlo's lay wife, Jackie, she said to us the night before we wrote this song, this story about the Amish community up north in Pennsylvania, I think it was. And they had their community raided in the middle of the night by the federal police. They had a tip-off. They had been selling milk to their neighbour straight from the cow. And that was highly illegal. So Jackie was just a fan of natural things, and I'm not making a statement here. I know there's reasons for safety and everything to have things processed. But she was just like, what is going on, Jodi? It's like we've turned Mother Nature herself into a criminal. And I said, Arlo, that's our song for tomorrow morning. The feds arrived at my neighbor's house. Heaven forbid they're selling milk from cows. They say it's safer from the factory. Next they'll pasteurize you and homogenize me. Somebody tell me, do you know when did Mother Nature become a criminal? Somebody tell me, do you know when did Mother Nature become a criminal? Thank you. Ah. So, Jared, you've been here for 2 shows. Would you like to hear the Cigar Box guitar song again, or should I do a new one?
I'll do that.
Do that one again? All right. Okay. I just realised I've got this beautiful Cigar Box guitar made in Smoky Bay here. And, yeah, I don't have it on the set list, so I'll do it again. Yeah. Is everyone, are you cool with that, Neil?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. How cool is that? Sounds a little bit like a banjo. So, thank you, Hans, for letting me borrow this. Song from the desert. The beer taps flow, the girls all swoon, crazy for the new blood in town. It's a long straight road with nothing in between. The daggers fly as she stakes her claim. We are one love. We are one love. We are one love. We can't get enough. We are one love. You roll into town by the cover of night. You've lost your hope and your will to fight. Everything you've been living for was stolen as she slammed that door. And you don't care how soft their skin, you're vowed to let nobody in. And you blood has them circling around, but every time you turn them down. We are one love. We are one love. We are one love. We can't get enough. We are one love. Now you've been hiding in my town for years. Well, I'm thinking there's nobody here who looks at life the way I do until I get that call from you. We talk for hours, we play the blues. You say you won't let no one through, but somehow I get in one day. You let me kiss your wall away. We are one love. We are one love. We are one love. We can't get enough. We are one love. We are one love. We are one love. We are one love. We can't get enough. We are one love. Thank you. And Kevin made that sound so beautiful too. Thank you, Kev. Give him another hand too. And Hans. All right, okay. So now, obviously, that was sort of a love song kind of thing. Now, my trademark thing is actually breakup songs. That's my forte. I spent most of my life single, it feels like, and it's funny. I said in the earlier show I did a national tour with a 15 Minutes Out to Sea album, and I said, I promise you this is my last breakup album. And that was in 2005, and it wasn't. There were many more. However, I believe this is my best breakup song ever, this one. This one's called Magnetic North. And I will tell you the story because it was a very passionate relationship. However, we wanted different kinds of relationships, as you will hear in the song. And so we decided to have our final breakup. We had quite a few. We had our final breakup, and it was arranged. He suggested that we meet in Mount Compass to have our, final goodbyes. What's funny about that? Well, there's more to this story, actually, I'll tell you. But so I got out Google Maps, because the thing is about this relationship. I said, honey, this whole relationship, I have driven further than you. I always drive 160 kilometres and you never come my way. So can't we meet in Wollonga? Wollonga is halfway. And he was like, no, I'm not in Victor Harbour. I'm at such and such town. So Mount Compass is exactly halfway, and I Google mapped it, and he was right. So we met in Mount Compass, and we did the breakup thing. And as I was driving down that hill, it's more of a hill than a mount, and I had tears streaming down my cheeks, and then this thought popped into my head, Mount Compass. That's a really good metaphor for a song. Way better than Wollonga. So, if you listen carefully, you'll hear all the compass references in this song. You didn't want a partner, you just wanted a wife. And I didn't want to live a skipper decking kind of life. In my picture perfect postcard, I visualized you'd change, and our fantasies seemed real, but our dreams are not the same. On a hill we call Mount Compass, that's where our roads divide. We're turning around our cars on opposite sides. Taillights disappearing down that Cater Road, where we sat for hours trying to let go. And I can barely drive for all this water in my eyes. Goodbye to Mount Compass, I'll try to follow the needle trust in me to steer. And I can barely drive for all this water in my eyes. Goodbye to Mount Compass, it's time to follow the needle, even when it hurts. Tear down our illusions to stay on course, and it'll always be there. Magnetic north, magnetic north, magnetic north. Thank you so much. I'm going to do one of my favourite Bob Dylan songs now. This is, I had this on a record by Jennifer Warnes when I was a teenager, and I've always loved it. It's called Sign on the Window. Do you know this one? I don't know. I've actually never heard Dylan sing it. I've only heard Jennifer Warnes sing it. Sign on the window says lonely. Sign on the door says no company allowed. Sign on the street says you don't own me. Sign on the porch says three's a crowd. Sign on the porch says three's a crowd. Well, him and his girlfriend went to California. Him and his girlfriend, they done changed their tune. My best friend said, I warned ya. Brighton girls are like the moon. Brighton girls are like the moon. Oh man, that was. It looks like nothing but rain. It's sure gonna be wet tonight on Main Street. I hope he don't sleep. Build me a cabin in Utah. I'll be somebody's wife. I catch rainbow trout. Have a bunch of kids who call me mom. That must be what it's all about. you. Thank you so much. I've actually practiced that section so many times. I was like, dope. You always get it right in all your rehearsals and then when you're on stage. Yeah. Beautiful song though, isn't it? It's, I love it. All right, so just about to say, put your hand up. Put your hand up if you know what a kingpin is. Yeah? How many people? One? If you put your hand up, I might pick you. You got to be honest. Do you really know what a kingpin is? 1, 2, 3. No? 4, 5, 6. 6 people. I didn't know what a kingpin was until I was driving a hire car with a friend, Greg Shee, an amazing percussionist, down to the APY lands from Alice Springs. And, you know, on those roads, you're doing 130 kilometres an hour. And once we started getting up around 90 or so, the whole car was just like shaking. And I'm like, is this bitumen corrugated or what? Like, what's going on? And Greg was like, Joe, I don't know, but I don't know if I'm imagining this, but the car isn't steering properly. And so can you have a drive? So I had a freaking drive, and it was like the damn thing was steering by itself. And like that is not what you want when you're driving at 130 kilometres an hour. So the satellite phone wasn't working, as it doesn't when you just need it the most. So we drove really slowly back to Stewart's Well, is it? Stewart's Well Roadhouse there. And the guy had a look at our car and he said, you guys are lucky to be alive. You've done your kingpin. So what the kingpin does is it actually holds your steering together. It's quite important. Yeah. So I just had to write a song with kingpin in it after that. And yeah, so this song is called Round the Corner. It's about coming round the corner through the hard times in your life and out the other side. And for me, the kingpin is love, because that is what holds everything together through the shit, basically. If you've got good friends, family, whoever you have that love with, community, if it's your community, you know, you can get through anything. So this song's on Saltwater album as well, and yeah, I really love this one. So here's to you, here's to love, and let's look after that in our life, because that's what's going to get us through everything. It's called Round the Corner. There's gold on the steeple, there's gold on the rings, there's gold inside these people gathered here to sing. It's shining from their faces. We could seal our vows with a kiss and start our journey knowing where our treasure is. Never know what lies up ahead. No one ever warns you, but that kingpin holds your steering true as you come around the corner. You come around the corner. I've seen the smoke cloud rising, everything turned to ash. I've seen the casket lowered, felt like there's nothing left. I've cried till there was healing. I've screamed out at the sky and still believed that love would somehow get me by. Never know what lies dream is real, and if we do what it takes, then I'll be there for you, babe, and you'll be there for me. I've been searching all my life for the one who can dream with me. Never know what lies up ahead. No one ever warns you. That kingpin hold you steering true as you come around the corner. You come around the corner. Yeah, keep that kingpin strong and true, baby. Coming round the corner. Here's to coming around the corner, folks. All right, I reckon I've got time for one more. Do you want one more? Yeah? So this is my new Telecaster. How gorgeous is that? So I was extremely privileged. I toured out on the APY lands for 2 years, and it was some of the most special times I've ever had. I learned a hell of a lot. And one time I was out there, it was coming up to the anniversary of Solid Rock, the song, the Goanna song, and Shane Howard was wanting to get put the translation, the Pidginjara translation to music, and so he asked me if I'd work with some Pidginjara speakers to make sure that all the strong beats were on the right syllables of the language and everything, and it was the most sacred sort of songwriting experience I had. Not that it was really songwriting, it was. Yeah, because we ended up actually making a new translation for the chorus of the song. And what I realised was when you're actually... It's one thing to do a translation, but if you're actually doing a song, it's actually important that you are a songwriter or a poet, you know. So I played it to my friend Sandra in Mimili, and she was absolutely mortified with what was there, because she said that the meaning wasn't coming through in the translation. So I said, well, I can't just say that to Shane. You know, he's going to be, you know, they're publishing the book, you know. And I said, is there someone do you know any great songwriters? And she said, well, Uncle Trevor Adamson is a great songwriter on his own merit. He's written heaps of songs of his own, and he's also translated 50 Slim Dusty songs into Pidginjara, and they still make sense. They sound great, you know. So I said, you know, and how could I find Uncle Trevor? He doesn't have a phone or anything. So I get back to Ernabella, and it was just meant to be. It was meant to be because I was working with the music teacher at Ernabella, and lo and behold, but Uncle Trevor's son-in-law came in as an SSO that day, and I said, oh, seriously, you're Uncle Trevor's son-in-law? And I told him the story, and he was actually from WA, so we sort of had a connection because he knew people from Sejuna and everything that we knew in common, and we had a really good connection. So that was a blessing and very special. And next day, Uncle Trevor rocks up to the music lesson. The music teacher was my mate as well, and she was spitting chips, absolutely spitting chips. She goes, Jodi, do you know how many years I've been here trying to get Uncle Trevor in here? You're here one day and he comes in. I said, well, it might have something to do with Shane Howard's song. But anyway, I cooked up a big roast veggies and roast dinner, and Uncle Trevor came around with his grandchildren. We all had a beautiful roast dinner together, and then we sat down for 3 hours. It took us 3 hours to get this chorus right, you know. And we had Shane Howard on the iPhone speakerphone, and then Uncle Trevor and I, and we all worked together, and I'd look at Uncle Trevor's face, no, I don't think that's the right one, no. And finally we came up with this beautiful translation. So the closest translation will be something like this. You're standing on strong rock, earth of the highest sacredness, and the wind is going to change, and the wind is getting stronger. So I'm gonna do my best in my humble way to bring this song across for you. Thank you so much for coming out. I love the WHEATY, and yeah, may you have a beautiful year through whatever happens. I hope that you can just gather love around you and just do the most important things in your life and do what you love. Make time for that. Love you.
Out here nothing changes, not in a hurry anyway. You can feel the endlessness with the coming of the light of day. You're talking about a chosen place, and you want to sell it in the marketplace. Well, yeah, just a minute now. You're standing up, solid rock. You're standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change are blowing down the line. Here right down the line. Around about the dawn of time, the dreaming all began. Proud people, ever living in their promised land, running from the heart of darkness, searching for the heart of light. Yeah, this is paradise. Oh, you're standing up, solid rock. You're standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change blowing down the line. They were standing on the shore one day, saw the white sails in the sun. It wasn't long before they felt the sting. A white man, white law, white gun. You tell me that it's justified. Somewhere, someone lied. Someone lied. Genocide. Boleh ku bongkar marani mata mil pakatu untuk kurang marani wal pakam paku chuparani wal papul garingani. Solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change blowing down the line. Here punka ngarani mata mil pakatu untuk kurangka ngarani wal bakam pakucu parani wal papugaringani.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.